The way porn addiction has eaten deep into our lifestyle is so alarming and calls for concern. The anonymity of this habit has given it so much strength, and it's seriously dealing with a lot of people in regard to its repercussions. Hold the thought of this. I'll get back to you shortly. I would like to start by telling you why pornography is really an addictive thing. It is good to understand the nature of what we are dealing with here. Reason number one is because it is relatively accessible. 15 to 20 years back, it was a whole lot of hustle gaining access to VHS tape or a magazine. To even watch it, you'll have to hide it. You will need a place and time where you can be alone to consume such material, or as a child wait till your parents sleep at night or set out of the house before you can have access. So that makes it less accessible. But nowadays, just with your cell phones, you can do whatever. The second one is just like the first: affordability. Before now, you will need to buy tapes and magazines. It's not just about the funds to do a purchase, but you will prefer to get it where you will not be seen or identified with. But nowadays, it is free to a great level. You have numerous free websites online, and they are easily accessible via your phones, tablets, or computer. And then the third is the aggressive nature of porn. The porn industry intends to make it so exciting to an extent that they go beyond the norm. They go the extra mile to create in our minds things that don't really happen in normal life. I mean in a real-life intimate practice between couples. And the nature of that is, for instance, a man who is addicted to porn already has an idea, and when he brings that to his home, he doesn't see the shape and deeds exploited in his wife. Now, this is where problem starts to set in. Number 4. It is anonymous. Its anonymity makes it so powerful in the sense that no one knows that you are watching. And so you cannot be tamed or guarded in any way, and you will keep consuming until you become so addicted. Now let's have an understanding of the process. There are chemical reactions that are responsible for your happiness and addiction. Certain chemicals are secreted when you get happy, one of which is called dopamine. This chemical, when secreted, makes you feel good and fulfilled. So this is how it works. Whenever you do something that excites you, such an experience is automatically stored in the brain and registered in a way that is patterned to be observed from time to time. Let me give you an example. If you like honey so much, it will easily become a habit for such an experience to be repeated again and again. The brain automatically signals to you, oh, it is time for honey again, so you'll have to go back for such an experience. This is exactly how the addiction part of the whole thing sets in. So in the case of porn, it raises a trigger that will pop up in the brain. Dopamine will be produced, and in its due time, you will be reminded that it's time for porn again. And this happens even more repeatedly. Dopamine is supposed to be a feel-good experience if it comes from a good habit. But if it is a product from such an investment as porn, the reverse is the case. So the difference is that when intimacy is practiced just with your partner, this chemical is produced in an appropriate amount for your experience with him or her. But if it's on porn, then it is secreted in a huge amount that is equivalent to the satisfaction you get from the sight of what you consume. That's how bad it can get. The body is a structured system that cannot be easily altered, and so you'll get prompts to keep up with the habit over and over again. So it starts with a trigger. When you do not control your gaze with an ideal habit, that is really dangerous. The part that's most scary is that such a habit accelerates. There is a place of growth in all of these. What you used to watch years back does not become so pleasant to you anymore, and so you want more, something more deeper and interesting. It is actually responsible for your abnormal behavior. And then justification. It makes you give yourself some kind of justification for your action. Like, well, it's better than going out to prostitute myself. hence exposing myself to the danger of kidnap, abuse or worse, contracting sexually transmitted infections and deadly diseases. Lastly, false quitting. That time of the process after watching, and then you tell yourself that you will never go back to it again, regarding that as your last time of that act. And as the popular saying, it's easier said than done. A mechanism or structure that will enhance its continuity is already set up in the body system. To counter such a pattern comes a serious level of uprightness and moral courage proportional, or even more than what took you to get addicted. And that is not an easy job at all. So, remember this when you get seriously and uncontrollably consumed by a bad habit of always watching porn. Now let's talk about the part of recovery, though you should understand that a step doesn't apply for everyone, different strokes for different folks, they say. Dealings with this also depend on your level of addiction. I recommend this recovery process in no precise order. Spiritual intervention can help. Dealing with this from a point of faith and belief of being forgiven and having a chance to do things differently and rightly, and in turn help you with great relief. It works in the same way. Our state of mind has a lot to do with the whole process. Our belief system can continually help in the secretion of the right chemicals or hormones that will take over the pressing urge for watching porn so badly. You should tell someone. At this stage, you shouldn't keep it all to yourself anymore, though you should be careful about whom you choose to confide in and share with. Such a person should be someone you trust, a friend or your partner that you know will understand you, or a professional coach or counselor. Sharing with someone really helps in the healing process. Lower your gaze. You must cultivate a habit of checking yourself of every action and things that surround you, be it pictures, books, or videos that you consume. You can achieve that by first eliminating them all from your view. Anything that points in the direction of a relapse into this habit again. This is because the feeling of a relapse is really bad. It can get so bad and lead to depression. When you are engaged in something that you feel you don't have power over, it brings in a serious level of low self-esteem and hence depression if not taken care of. Divide your goals into smaller goals. This is how this works. Remember, I have previously mentioned false quitting, where you tell yourself that you are not going to watch porn ever again. I would like to tell you that that doesn't work most of the time because it appears to be so vague and not precise. Now, instead of doing that, all you need to do is to give yourself an ultimatum. Do things a step at a time. For instance, today is Tuesday. You can tell yourself that you will not watch porn again till next week Tuesday. That way you have a realistic goal that can be easily achieved. After which you can go ahead with another small goal again to push yourself even further. This technique helps a great deal. Do not be upset and punish yourself in the case of a relapse. Sure, in the process of recovery and healing from any habit, there is room for relapse. Of course you will fall several times. You are dealing with a habit that has taken you years to build and master. Pulling out of it is not going to come easy. So be prepared for it. Be ready to pick yourself up whenever you fall on the way. Develop new habits. Something must replace the time of your previous habit so that there will be no time for such a habit anymore. Make sure this new habit is an activity that drives you totally away from the thought of watching porn again, even in the seamless habit of adjusting activities in terms of time. For example, if you stay awake late at night to watch porn, try a new habit of sleeping early. That way you are not available for the usual habit when the time comes. The power of habit can be put to use here, and it really works. Be honest while seeking the cure. Peradventure you are seeing a coach. Be honest to tell when you have relapsed, so that adequate measures can be used to follow up. So don't lie to either yourself or someone who is trying to help you heal. Continue in your newfound habit. Don't rejoice on the part of your success journey. Just keep the practice continuous, not until a very long time that you must have totally mastered yourself out of the habit completely. Constantly remind yourself of the negative consequences of porn addiction or any effect, faith or practice that keeps you in check. For example, a reminder on your devices that you are not alone, God is watching you might help. It's psychology. Remember, it all mind engaging. When you close all the windows and find yourself a safe and quiet place for porn watching, you have just told yourself nobody sees you. So break the secrecy strengthens this addictive habit, and make yourself always feel like you are in the open. If all of these profit solutions can help you to stay away from watching porn for 40 days, then you are most likely able to conquer the addictive urge of watching porn. Scientifically, it has been proven that a habit repeated continuously for 40 days becomes a part of the body system and is even subconsciously mastered. So, conclusively, I'll say to you that you are not a bad person. You are not your addiction. You only just need to discover your ideal self and do just right by it. You might be stuck in between thoughts, one telling you it's ok to continue watching porn, while the other quietly whispering it to your hearing that the habit is a destructive path. Please don't give up on yourself. You are not alone in this, and you will triumph eventually. This brings me to the end of this, not just exciting but educative piece. If it has been helpful and you would love to see more related videos, please kindly subscribe to the channel. While at it, do click on all in your subscription option. Like and share this video to help those who really are in need of it. I'll be waiting to hear your views in the comments section. Take care and bye for now.